Yeah.
I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one.
Yeah. Man.
I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. As you see, Mike Washington and Charles Bishop are both on assignment. So I have my next adjunct professor in the building, Jamie Walker. How's it going?
Pretty good. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, man, it's my pleasure, Jamie. You made the road trip down here. You want to show the MEAC some love? So let's get it done.
Absolutely.
So let's just get right to it. What are your thoughts in terms of everything that's going on for the MEAC? What you think been going on here before I get your predicted order of finish? That's what everybody wants to hear.
Well, everybody always wants to hear the predicted order of finish, but I'm loving the venue so far. Just with the coaches being open and players being out, it's always a great opportunity just to showcase your squads and showcase the conference in general. Commissioner Steele should be proud.
Yeah, she should be. Well done. Man, when people see the broadcast from ESPN, not to plug them too much,
right?
But I got a chance to see the backdrop in the room in there, and she got the electronic billboards. They started hard. They serious over here.
I hadn't seen it yet. Okay.
Yeah. So as you look around the room, you have on one side, you have Coach Wilson, Damon Wilson, the new coach at Morgan State. And then you have none other than, what is that? Who's in the middle over there?
I think you have, let's see. I think we're kind of impeded by the trophies in the way. I see Mr. John Grant over there. Not sure who that is.
Yeah,
I think that
Delaware State.
Yeah.
And then on this side, you have the champion, South Carolina State, North Carolina Central Eagles.
So I think that's Howard. That's actually Howard over there.
You got Howard over there with a big presence. And, the trophies in the room setting up there. So as we set to see if we can get some of these coaches as they go through here, let's go ahead and get the predicted order of finish. Everybody's heard my predicted order of finish, so I started out a little bit.
Okay.
And give it to you so you can then give me yours. You know, I like to give the record. I think it's easy for people to give a predicted order of finish.
Absolutely.
I said, so I like to go a little deeper. You know how the doctor tries to do it. You know, go a little deeper there. But before I tease everybody, let me go ahead and get you in. Give me your predicted order of finish. I see John Grant running around here. He's excited. He's fired up today.
Yes, he is. You see him running around.
Coach Pugh.
Exactly, making the rounds as he should. Of course, got two significant events coming up dealing with,
does he?
Division I. Yes, he does. One at the beginning and one at the end.
Yeah, it starts in Atlanta, it ends in Atlanta.
Absolutely.
So go ahead, give me your predicted order.
I tell you what, I'm looking at yours, and it is eerily similar, except for one at the bottom. I would say just because of the late hire, I would say Morgan State at 6th. I think you have that correct. Delaware State losing some key pieces, definitely in that 5th spot. I would say Howard much improved when you're talking about them having Quentin Williams and then also having Eden James in a much improved offense. But I would say them at the 4th spot. I would flip yours and say Norfolk State at 3.
Oh, you got Norfolk State.
I would. Losing Juwan Carter and losing a couple other pieces.
Yeah.
We will see how they do in as far as bringing back a signal caller as well. North Carolina Central at 2nd place, bringing back Davius Richard, bringing back a lot of key pieces, including Brandon Codrington, who's here today at that punt return spot. I think, they'll be at 2nd. But number 1, South Carolina State Bulldogs, them being able to win it last year and them having a relatively young team, I think they'll win the MEAC again this year.
As you said, a little different from mine, but not too far off.
No, not too far.
not too far off. So I think you know what you're talking about. I got number 6, Morgan State, 2-9. I agree with you. 0-5 in terms of conference. I think he's a dynamic coach, and I believe he will get it right at Morgan State. I
Absolutely.
just think about the late start that he has, and where Morgan State was. Is my understanding he only had like 45 people at spring practice. To give you an example, bringing a lot of bodies in. The good thing is the players have already bought in.
Yes.
So that is huge. Academics is strong. As many people know about Morgan State, but it includes the players. They speak about their academics being strong. Little small things that need to get done that he's working on that will quickly change and make a difference in terms of taking care of kids and making sure they know they appreciate them. So that's going to be fascinating. So I have them at 6. At number 4, I have actually number 5, I should say, is Delaware State. I have them at 5-6, 1-4. This is one of the teams that I think can really throw an ointment in a lot of people's perspective of what's going on. So it's going to be fascinating to see. This is a team, while I have them at 5, I can see them jump to 2.
Wow.
I see them getting on the roll. They're going to have the strongest defense in the league, I believe. Even stronger than South Carolina State, which I see is 2nd. But there's questions on the offensive side of the ball. If they can answer some of those questions, they'll be okay. Trust me with that. They will be okay. Then you go back and look a little bit at number 4. I have Howard, 5-6, 2-3. Fascinating on them. Know they can score. Can they get some defense again? Opposite of Delaware State in a lot of ways. So
Good question.
they can ruin it for some people. I'm not sure if I can see them getting to the top, but I can see them ruin it for those teams that many people think are going to be at the top, which I have at number 3 is North Carolina Central. Young team. I think they have a championship level team. I think their schedule does not favor them. That's the concern I have with North Carolina Central. Not that they can't go and win some games. They will win some games, big games. Maybe starting off and shocking some people in terms of against the Aggies.
Don't do that, sir. Don't do that.
In that matchup. But I think it should be entertaining, which is what you want from a rivalry game.
Absolutely.
Because in the last couple of years, it hasn't been that.
No, it has not.
A&T has dominated that. They're going to come in there prepared to dominate it again, but I think they're going to get a fight from the Eagles, and if not careful, Eagles can sneak out of there with the victory. But because of the road game, more importantly in conference play, in Orangeburg, South Carolina State, road game against Norfolk State. I think last year was their year to find a way to get it done, and when they couldn't get that overtime win against South Carolina State, they had their chance last year to me to start in Atlanta and literally finish in Atlanta to be the first team to do it. But that close a play or two that did not allow them to do it. But this year I think it's a little difficult. They might be able to get one of them, but I can't see them getting both of those road games. So I have them at 3. I can see them sneaking up to 2 in terms of if they get one of those games. At number 2, I have Norfolk State, 7-4, 4-1. I know they lost the everything quarterback, but Odoms is a defensive guy. He can run the ball. I think there's enough talent at Norfolk State to find a way to get it done, but I don't think it's enough as they have to go on the road to South Carolina State. Everything plays to the strength of South Carolina State. They still feel a lot of questions, so they still feel disrespected, so they're not going to feel themselves.
No, as they should feel.
Right, and then they have a schedule that really fits well for them, including getting FAMU at home. I just told you about Norfolk State and also having North Carolina Central at home. I'm interested in terms of that North Carolina A&T game. Now it's on the road.
I'm very interested in that as well.
In that one,
absolutely.
I think they had their chance to get the game last year where they were. You really playing well in that game.
Mm-hmm. Then Corey Fields gets hurt.
And A&T does what a good team in terms of is used to beating a team. They find a crack in the crevice and they find a way to get it done. So you got to give credit to the Aggies for doing that. But that's the kind of level that I think in some ways was deceptive to a lot of people when South Carolina State went in their bowl game. When you talk about the 2 FBS games played, if they play a FCS team, let's say they get that one. Let's say they get A&T. Now you're talking about a team that goes in 8-3, which gives you a whole different mindset than a team that goes in 6-5.
Yeah, it was deceiving as far as the record is concerned. If you look up and down that schedule, you're exactly right. South Carolina State was much better than that 7-5 record indicated. And going into the Celebration Bowl, they were ascending anyway. So That's why I could never pick. I didn't pick anyone in the game, but I could never pick against them just because of what they were doing. So you're exactly right about that schedule.
Anything else you want to add before we go to our first break and see if we can get in some of these coaches? They're moving around and trying to get to some of their stuff, but want to see about doing that. What are your thoughts and final thoughts before we go to this first break?
Just in general, it's exciting this year because I think coming off COVID last year, you were just so uncertain about what the teams would be with that long layoff. Now this year, because some did play abbreviated schedules, but not all teams played. So now coming into a full year, it's interesting to see what exactly this conference will be, and I think it's much more competitive than it's been in the past.
No doubt about it. So let's see if we can go to our first break. Live, stick with us. Appreciate you joining us early this morning. If you're in most of the central time zone, for those many swag folks trying to sneak in here and see their backyard cousins and what they get to done. Yeah, they're doing it big. So stick with us. This is Dr. Ville's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop, doing a special event for the 2022 MEAC MEAC Football Media Day. I was going to do MEAC Swag Challenge. MEAC Football Media Day in Norfolk, Virginia, and I'm joined by Jamie Walker. Stick with us. We'll be right back after this break.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
HBCU League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU League Pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU. HBCU League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU League Pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Lab. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Lab, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
Oh, we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door. Tell your mama hungry.
Press the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Ville inside the HBCU Sports Lab with none other than the coach, the new coach, Coach Wilson.
Talk to me, Doc.
Man, how's it going?
Going well. Going
You know,
well.
like I said, you can't be fanboy when you do all this, but I'm excited about it. I can tell you that, right?
Good deal. I appreciate your support over the years, man. We go back since I was in the SWAC, so I
That's
appreciate
right.
it.
That's
Yeah.
right. When you helped us get to our championship at Prairie View 2009,
There you go.
as you helped build that, obviously you had moved over and started preparing yourself for this date in a lot of ways, right?
Indeed.
Our mid-major national champion, black college champion, going deep into the playoffs. But you done that for a while. You know, you had our championship multiple times, right?
Right. Three times in a row. You know,
Yeah.
3 times in a row. And we received that award from you guys this year. It was great. That's something that at Bowie State University that we take great pride in. You know, so I appreciate you, like I said, you guys supporting, recognizing the program and the things that we've done over the years.
So now this time we got a chance to send you some cards.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I want to ask you the previous question so we live. I hope you enjoyed that.
Oh, they were great. I appreciate that, Kim.
We'll leave it just like that. But now you get to do something to be special. I know you got a building block, so I don't want to take it too fast, but you got a chance to do our major division champion as a head coach, to do it at the mid-major level and the major division level. Only a couple of coaches done that. The last one I had officially did that with North Carolina Central, as they won a black college championship. With a lot of people, they did it obviously our mid-major, and then they came back as he transitioned over to North Carolina A&T, and then won it. Broadway won it at the major division level. So, what are the things that you have to look for to get that done?
First, got to put a good staff together, and that's something I think we were able to do, to put a good coaching staff together. And now, hitting the road recruiting, we got started pretty late, but we were able to get some guys that can brought into the program, and guys that can play at a high level. So I think we're off to the right start, and getting the culture, the mindset on campus to change a little bit. We haven't had a lot of success lately with Morgan State football, but I think we're turning that corner right now.
I like it. Talk about the players that you brought with us and why. I think that's always intriguing. Coach has a significant. You have a lot of players you can pick from. In your case, it was short, so I'm sure it's something about these young men that impressed upon you. Said, "This is what we wanted the media day to represent Morgan State in the football program that we're building."
So what I did was my first Monday on the job. We weren't on campus yet. I had Zoom meetings with all the players on the campus or on the roster. And for those 10 minutes for each player, I asked them, hey, give me 2 things you like about Morgan State. Give me 2 things you dislike. Give me something you want to change. And Dexter Carr and Bruce, their responses to those questions and seeing the passion in their eyes, they want to be successful, want to win, and they're doing a great job in the community and in their classroom. I think they were two great guys to pick for this occasion.
What do you need to be successful this season to go in these games? I know it happens so fast. There's building blocks. Fans are excited about this. And there's not necessarily a time limit. Your expectation, I'm sure, because of your success in the past and just as a coach, you go in to win the games. But do you set a pace in regards to winning the conference, winning championships, getting 500? What does that look like? How do you go through that process?
We want to win championships right now. That's the reality. I don't know how to create the mindset. Hey, I just want to win 4 games. I just want to win 5 games. I don't know how to think that way. So we want to win each day and get better each day. But at the end of the day, if we take care of the little things, the big things will take care of themselves at the end of the day. So that's our mindset. Just get better each day and let things fall in where they may.
Last thing I have for you, and then I'll let you respond to your fans, family, or whatever, whoever you want to speak to. But obviously, this is the talk in regards to where the MEAC is. You're short. Had a chance to speak with other coaches as I got to come in for lunch. I saw that they pretty much welcomed you to the table, open arms, with all the type of success. But what have you learned this quick that talks about the sustainability of the MEAC?
Oh, the MEAC is in great position. We have 8 teams with 6 teams playing football in in a great position. Our leadership had the opportunity to meet with our commission yesterday, and she welcomed us with open arms, and she told us the vision of the conference. And the MEAC is strong. And you look at the MEAC versus SWAC opponents in the Celebration Bowl. I want to say the MEAC has won 5 of those games, if I'm not mistaken.
That's kind of what it is.
Yeah, so
record is what the record is.
Record is what it is. So I think we're in great shape as a conference, and we're going to continue to push the MEAC forward.
No doubt about it. Let me give you a chance to talk or share with anybody out there the questions I didn't ask you. Anything you want to share, go ahead at this time.
The biggest thing right now, Morgan State supporters, Morgan State alums, we're going to need you. You know, it's an all hands on deck approach, and our student athletes need you to be involved, need you to be in the stands, pushing this program to the next level. We've had a lot of success at Morgan State in the 60s and the 70s, and we want to bring those days back. You know, we want to bring those glorious days back. We have 4 Hall of Famers that played at the university, so we want to make sure that we highlight the history and teach our incoming student athletes the history that's Morgan State football, and continue to move forward to win championships.
There you go. You have from Coach Damon Wilson, Morgan State University, the football program, new head coach. Exciting, get it done. I like the tie. You dress well. You done learned over the years.
I learned over the years. Have my colors on.
I know what it is.
Got
That
my
paycheck help a little bit.
Got my little sapphire thing right there. I know you're an alpha, but I can hear like that.
I appreciate that. Y'all just had your conclave and tore up North Carolina.
Indeed.
Charlotte.
Indeed.
They got to rebuild it. But no, it's a pleasure, Coach.
Yes, sir.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. We'll be right back after this break. Thank you.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
Follow the Black College Sports Network and all of our shows on YouTube. You can find us at MyJBN Online and on all social media at MyBCSN1.
I have in me the ability to make you a better you. So if you work hard, focus, and stay on point, you can do anything. Trust me.
We made this track to tell everybody they can follow their dreams.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
HBCU League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU League Pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU. HBCU League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU League Pass. It's game time, I'm proud.
Ryan Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Lab. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Lab, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. We're getting ready for our next interview. I heard you got to talk a little bit of Coach Pough. What you got?
I did. You know what? Coach Pough is when you've been in the profession that long and being able to do what they've done at South Carolina State, you can just, fly in this. You as comfortable as possible. You don't have anything to prove to anybody.
This side, Coach, we're going to get you right in here. Go ahead, finish your thought and get him on there.
And no, I mean, just that Coach Pough is just built for these kind of moments. I love his demeanor, and I love the way that, he just comes off in the presser. He's going to win that regardless.
Yeah, he's going to win
but
that.
right there before the game.
Let's get in Coach Trei Oliver, head coach of the North Carolina Central Eagles. As he comes, he's ready to go. This is the man of the hour. This a bad boy. This bad brother right here. Watch this. He coming in here, sitting down, and talk to us about these Eagles because they will fly. So he say fly high. Look at it. As we dress him down and get him ready there. Coach, how's it going this morning? Oh, turn it down a little bit.
That's good.
Okay. Coach, sensitive in those ears. We want to make sure you can talk to his coach on the headsets and stuff like that. Get plays ready. We got to take care of this man.
Right.
How's it going today?
Outstanding. Good to be here. The coaches in the conference, man, and we have a great relationship. And they're student athletes. It's some talent in this room, man. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah, it is a lot of talent. The MEAC is talented, and in a lot of ways, that talent is recorded in the MEAC Spike Talent Celebration Bowl. You were really close last year, and in a lot of ways, I'm not sure if the Eagles are getting the credit they should in terms of how they open up the season. Went on the road, played Mississippi Valley State down there, tough place to play, bounced back, and was right there with South Carolina State. But you have a lot of those players coming back. Tell us a little bit about the talent you got with your team this year.
Yeah, we got I think 8 coming back, starters come back on offense and 7 on defense. And it was really good to see the young guys get a lot of reps last year. We had a lot of injuries. And, we're getting a lot of those guys back now. So we're excited about the talent that we have coming back. And we got to figure out a way to score those 3 points, man, beat those Bulldogs.
I like that. Tough schedule in terms of some of the road games in the conference. What is your mindset going into a game? Do you feel there's any major difference in terms of playing at home or playing on the road? Do you see your teams maybe responding better on the road than sometimes they do at home?
Well, we try to keep the routine the same.
Okay.
Whether it be the hotel and what time we eat, what time we move, and all that stuff. But I do much rather prefer playing at home in the nest. I think I've been using.
I love it. The nest.
It's a tough place to play in Durham, man. So our guys are comfortable there. I love our fan base, and they really support our guys. But on the road, we try to keep everything about same as far as our routine and our schedule. So wherever we go, man, doesn't matter. It's football now.
There you go. Let's talk about a little bit before we talk about your team. Talk about starting out in the Duke Mayo Classic, big game against North Carolina A&T. But the fact last year you started in the big game, you think that helps in any way that you? Now this is the second year in a row at least that I can remember where you start out and what a lot of people receive as a big game where you can make a statement.
Well, it's a great way to start the season, and sometimes when you have that big game, that classic, the second game, sometimes your guys have a tendency to overlook that first game of the year because there's so much hype about playing North Carolina A&T or whatever class you're playing in. So right now, North Carolina A&T has our undivided attention in the Duke Mayo Classic, and we'll be ready for that. We'll be ready for that game.
Man, track record of what you've been able to do with your career. Coordinator, position coach, championships. I'm not sure if people recognize that, but they'll learn because I'm going to teach them a little bit. But all seriousness, talk about some of the key players that you talked about, the number of that you have back. Who are some people that we need to keep our eyes on and watch this year as the Eagles do their thing?
Our offensive line, last year we came in with 20 guys, and we ended the season with only 7 offensive linemen. And I've never seen us get beat up like that before. But we got a lot of those guys back. I think up front, Corselli Simpkins and Corey Bullock. Those are 2 guys that will probably be playing on Sundays.
Thank you.
Obviously, our quarterback, Pee Wee,
he's started as true freshman.
He's a player, right? He's a player. Our receiving core, we have a lot of depth there.
Okay.
Andrew Smith, Devin Smith, EJ Hicks is back. So we have a lot of talent there, man. And running backs, we have a stable of those guys, and obviously in the MEAC, we run the football. That's what we do. So you got to be able to run the football. Defensively, a lot of guys are hurting up front, and I think our secondary is probably going to be the deepest position on the team.
Man, there's a lot to be excited about down there in the Eagles nest as you talk about. Give a little comment, anything I didn't ask you that you want to share with people that they need to know about North Carolina Central Eagles.
Great school, great university. We are looking for an exciting year next year, and we want to continue to put a great brand of football on the field and be a great representative of the MEAC football conference.
No doubt about it. You heard it here first with Coach Trei Oliver, North Carolina Central Eagles. They plan to fly high, as I need to make sure I accent it. I like it, man. This is young coach. Good job. Continue to do the great work you're doing, and thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you. You do a great job also.
I appreciate that. This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. We're going to move around, see if we can stick with you, and then we'll be right back with it. Let me see if I can get things going. Got you, Coach. As you move around with that, let's see if we want to take a break or see if we can get the next coach in here, moving around the room and that. Let's go ahead and take a break, and I'll see if I can bring back the next coach. Brian, this is Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab here in Norfolk, Virginia at the 2022 MEAC Media Day. That's the football media day, all things for all people. Stick with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisine.
Open up the door, tell them mama hungry.
The Couvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Couvée.
Follow the Black College Sports Network and all of our shows on YouTube. You can find us at MyJBN Online and on all social media at MyBCSN1.
I have in me the ability to make you a better you. So if you work hard, focus, stay on point, you can do anything. Trust me.
We made this track to tell everybody they can follow their dreams.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
This is Dr. Cavil inside the HBCU Lab as we're here in the MEAC 2022 Football Media Day. I have the legend, Coach Pough, brought him a championship home last year. For some, he shook the world. For a lot of folks, it's just business as usual for the South Carolina State Bulldogs. Talk about that a little bit.
Dr. Cavil, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Appreciate
today.
you having me. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun talking to everybody. from the old ladies in the grocery store. I don't know if there's anybody who didn't see the Celebration Bowl last year. And I'm talking about people who were either there or they saw it on TV, and it was people that I don't even know for any kind of way would be interested in us. But at the same time, it seemed to touch everybody's chords there somehow or another in a way where they were interested. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
You talk about the fact that, like you said, it was old ladies stopping in the store, the store, the Congress folks in South Carolina folks, like, I know we do what we do, but I didn't realize. So it's good that the brand of what you see at the Celebration Bowl for what you've been working and getting things done, both making young boys, young men, and the men in terms of great families. Some of them getting the opportunity to extend their career, playing at a high level. Talk about the gratification of that.
Well, first off, the Celebration Bowl, I'm hoping is something that we really take into account in a way that we really understand just how valuable it is for us. It is a wonderful, wonderful property for our conference. I guess maybe us and the SWAC together. Somehow or another we own that together.
Yes.
Well, it's probably the most valuable property in FCS football.
Okay.
So then you get an opportunity to continue to work at and develop something that could possibly be something really. It might be. You remember when the Super Bowl first started, they just had about 50, 25,000. Well, you know what?
Giveaway tickets.
Well, I think we're getting to the point where we're going to be able to sell tickets for a pretty premium price.
That's right.
And that's coming on in a way now where, it's becoming a destination weekend for all HBCU fans. So I'm excited about, and so our kids have had a little taste of something that, they feel like they can develop into something that can last them for the rest of their lives that way, Doc. So I'm excited about what we seem to have gotten going here. A lot of it's been a little bit of unintended consequences of what's actually just arisen through all this deal, but I can tell you that it's been about as much fun to see this thing come about as anything I've been a part of in my whole lifetime.
So you've been at this for a while, coming off a championship win, as you are this time. Is there anything to the thing out there about preparing your team to be, quote unquote, the hunted versus the hunter?
Well, that part is definitely a case. You definitely do understand that the South Carolina State Bulldogs will not be able to slip in any place and win a football game, kind of untested that way. You're gonna have to really bring it. Everybody's gonna give us their A game, and our guys are preparing to be a better football team than they were last year. Now, if that can be, then I don't see why it shouldn't be. We returned most of the guys from last year's team. Now, when you start talking about 9 starters on offense and 8 starters on defense, I don't really know how that works because we play so many personnel groupings and that kind of stuff that that you really don't necessarily know exactly how it fits from what you were last year as opposed to what you are this coming year. But I can tell you that we've got a lot of good football players coming back. Our demeanor, our want to, our will, all those kind of things are still strong. Our guys have worked extremely hard this summer. So we look forward to seeing this coming Tuesday when they come back in, this team as it develops onto, what we'll be in the 22 season.
Yeah, it should be fun to watch. Obviously, you brought with you quarterback Corey Fields, young guy that is maturing in front of your eyes, getting better every day, and is in a lot of ways a true leader. Talk about him for a minute.
Corey is the consummate, mature leader. He's a very smart young man. He's in grad school. He'll be probably done with a master's degree sometime in the next semester. So, yeah, and then he's probably more mature than I am. I sometimes feel bad about the stuff that I say to him because he is probably closer to being a family man and that kind of stuff sometimes than I am. So, this guy has really impressed me with his style, the way he carries himself, the way he leads, just being a good, solid young man, in today's society that way. And, I just feel like, he's going to work at this thing in a way where, he's going to improve his numbers. He was a little over 50% passer last year. He had, a few more turnovers than we would have liked. I think these are the kinds of things that he'll be better at this year. So I think our team will benefit from a more mature guy in that position. And then he knows his weapons better. I think he'll understand, more about what his receiving core is like. He's got all kinds of pieces around him that I think are top-notch caliber kinds of personnel. So I think we got a chance to be pretty good. I really do.
Then on the defensive side, you told us a little bit when I got to talk to you at the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta about Jablonski Green. You said, this young man is talented. You need to keep your eyes on him. And sure enough, he showed out.
He did.
And now he gets the chance this year to kind of step out of a shadow.
Exactly.
Because now folks are going to be looking for him to be as talented. What are your thoughts on him? And more importantly, that defensive side of the ball.
Well, now, Jablonski and Jacoby Durant are from the same place. I guarantee you they are. They're from Lamar, South Carolina, over in that neck of the woods somewhere.
Yes, sir.
And they have, some of the better, I guess maybe football lineages of anybody in a way where, you can pretty much bet that he'll be, one of our top leaders. We started him out as a linebacker. He stood up most of his high school career, and he still stands up and plays even at the defensive end. But now we found he actually ate himself out of the linebacker position.
Okay.
He got up to about 290, I think, somewhere in that neck of the woods.
So he like the.
But you know what? He look at him.
But you can't tell it. I'm telling you.
No, he's probably about 285, look somewhere in that neck of the woods. Can run. Got good leverage, good lean to him, that kind of stuff. Can rush the passer. Athletic is all get out. So he'll play. We'll still use him to do some of the scheme stuff that you see in the pro football and the college football schemes today, where you see guys, drop back and drop in the coverage and that kind of stuff, along with the fact that they can rush the passer. So he's been a fun guy to watch, and now he'll be able to take on more of a leadership role. Because of the fact that, he's been, in the scheme now for a while, and he knows what he's supposed to do first so he can talk about that and then go on and see if we can help other guys, with their assignments too.
Anything that you want to share that I didn't ask you?
Not really. This team has got a chance to be really special, but at the same time, our league was so balanced last year. Yeah. Our games were so close that I'm sure everybody is thinking that they are going to have their shot to dethrone us. And you're right. They can. We definitely can be beat, but they're gonna have to beat us because we're gonna come in and try to play every game as if it's the last shot at a out of a Roman candle.
So when you talk about 6 teams, everybody asks different questions about that, but a lot about that. And you talked yesterday about the strength of the league and just how strong it is, but there's not a lot of room for error.
Yeah, we don't know much about Morgan now with Damon taking over there in Baltimore, but I can tell you that Larry Scott at Howard, has really done a fantastic job. Should have beaten us last year. Dawson Odoms at at Norfolk is one of the better young football coaches in this country. And, they were that close to getting us last year.
Right.
Really, for a while, was playing as good as anybody. You got to sustain it through the whole season. Trei Oliver down at Central. This guy, man, got his team back in the last year. And Dernier caught us, from behind, at the end. And probably could have beaten us if it hadn't been for a play or two. Yeah. Delaware State is, we played them 4 times. Last year. Well,
I've never seen that before. That's right.
Well, what happened was we played them twice last spring, then we played them in the fall. Now we played them again. So it's in the last maybe year and a half we played them 4 times. But I'm telling you, it'll be a tough deal to play all these guys again and to find a way to get through all of them undefeated again. Hopefully we can do it because I think the team that wins it will probably not lose a game. So, we got to figure this out.
No problem with it. And we'll be following you, bring you all in on Black College Sports Network. With that, this is Dr. Cavil inside the HBCU Sports Lab for the 2022 MEAC Football Media Day. We'll be right back with you. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break. You have none other than Coach Pough, Buddy Pough.
HBCU League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU League Pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU. HBCU League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU League Pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU.
This is Ryan Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Lab. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Lab, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door. them mama hungry.
This is Dr. Cavil. We're inside the H Sports Lab. We're here for the 2022 MEAC Football Media Day. I have none other than Howard University football coach Larry Scott. How's it going?
I'm doing well, Doc. How's everything going with you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited, man.
Yeah, man.
Excited, man. Like I said, you dress up well. Getting ready for some football this year?
Absolutely. It's right around the corner. We're actually going to hurry when we get out of here, get back on the road, because we got to get back and the guys report tonight, and we start tomorrow.
So I see why you lathered up.
Oh,
Excited.
Yeah. Oh, really excited.
I really appreciate getting a chance to kind of talk with you a little bit for lunch. Just the relationship that you appreciate in building with these young men.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that.
I think that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, you have to, get up every day with the right mindset and attitude of why you're actually doing what you do. And so you begin to see it as this is not a job for me. I think I'm living out, my life's passion and what I've chosen and put in here to do. So at the end of the day, I go to work every day with my sleeves rolled up, willing to get my feet, and hands dirty and mix in and get with these young men and approach football through a holistic development standpoint and get to know them each and every day and help build championship people, which will bring home wins and do all those type of things and graduates and those things. So I think at the end of the day, it just goes down to why you do what you do and love doing what you do on a daily basis.
Absolutely. Some people talk about Howard University in terms of its academics, which obviously as a professor, I have a great appreciation of that.
Yep.
But in terms of athletics, some people talk about it challenging. Yep. I see some things being built that are special. Football, basketball, the multiple level of sports that you play that give African American, black children, young adults, and anybody that chooses to participate at Howard University get that HBCU experience. But it's called the Mecca.
Yep.
Talk about how do you utilize that in a positive direction?
Oh, I went right at it right when we came in and said the program identity is built around smarter, tougher, more disciplined and together. And I think we're going to embrace who we are, what we are, and why we're here at Howard. And that's why we're going to win. It's not going to be one or the other, but that's why we'll win. You don't see Stanford University student athletes do that. You don't see Duke student athletes do that. You don't see the student athletes at Northwestern do that. It's one Howard. It runs all together. And when you're one of those type of people that's built that way, your competitive excellence is going to show up in everything that you do. And so that's what we challenge our young men to do is, hey, listen, embrace the fact that you are here. You are here for a reason because you're here to get one of the finest educations this country has to offer at the Mecca in a place like Washington, D.C. And you love playing football. So why can't we do all things together as one? And we're going to be just as successful in the classroom as we are on the field and vice versa. We don't talk about them being a split thing. We talk about it being in conjunction and how it works together as to why we win. And when we turn around and people say, why you win, why wouldn't you think we should win? We win at everything we do, everything that we touch, and we're going to compete to the utmost to make sure we put ourselves in position to have that type of success.
I like that clinch fish analogy in a lot of ways you put in there. With that being said, that schedule. I really like a lot of things that you built around that schedule, the competitiveness part of it. Obviously, you have the back end with the conference, but the front end. And it matches as you talk about these academic institutions, right? Of how you have it with Hampton, obviously the natural real HU rivalry that a lot of people talk about. Then you have a pair of Ivy Leagues, one where you play away and one at home. That's significant in terms of what it provides the college athlete and their experiences. I like to frame it. Talk about how that came together.
I know you think when you think about Howard, you think about it being in a unique place. It's very unique, and therefore it causes for us and gives us opportunities to do very unique things. And when you start to really get creative with building the total experience for the student athlete, you look at having opportunities like that. You look at wanting to play the Ivy Leagues, the Harvards, not just any Ivy Leagues, but the Harvards and the Yales of the Ivy Leagues. You look at wanting to take a trip down to Tampa and play it, in Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida against USF, and then come back and go and play Morehouse up in Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands and those type of things. So those experiences, those venues, those opportunities when you're recruiting and you're doing and you're selling Howard, people get excited about that. They get juiced and energized by the fact that we're aggressive in our scheduling, but not only are we aggressive, we're putting them in NFL venues. They're getting top-notch, first-class experiences and opportunities to go show and show their talents and put them on a big stage.
Great point. Well said. Let's get to some of the players. You brought your quarterback, Quentin Williams, defensive lineman, Damian Brokenberg.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about those gentlemen and why they were the ones that you brought with you. It's always unique for me to ask a coach because that's a significant statement in a lot of ways.
Yep.
They only allow you to bring two.
Yep.
Might be more than that, but some reason you had to settle on two. Talk about the talent of these young men and holistically what they bring to the table.
I think even you go back to last year and you take the job and you go, okay, who are some of the guys you learn? And Quentin Williams and Darian Brokenberg kept coming up. And one of the biggest things I needed to challenge them from last year to this year is to allow, they got to grow, they got to mature, they got to be true leaders and what that means in the essence of just not talent being good enough. They're both fine young men. They're both great people, great human beings. They both do very well in the classroom. Both are progressing towards their degree at a rapid rate and doing really well. But I needed the leadership characteristics of who they are off the field to start to permeate throughout our young football team. And both of those guys took that leap for us. They took that step this offseason. Both became leaders on both sides of the ball for us. And they're stand-up guys. They do it right both on and off the field. So not only do they lead with their voice and but they lead through their actions. More importantly, off the field as opposed to on the field. So they took that big step, and they're deserving of being here. And they're both guys that are on our leadership committee. They're both leaders on both sides of the ball. Their maturity has come to the place of where others around them respect them. Respect not only who they are, not how talented they are, but how hard they work and the vision that they have for wanting to win. So it's great.
Great point. Talk a little bit more about your offensive, defensive side of the ball. What can we expect this season?
I think for us on offense, it's just continuing to grow the young talent. We had our moments and our flashes. We've added some more talented guys to that. It all starts up front. And to return the bulk of our offensive linemen, when we had 3 or 4 guys that started for us as true freshmen up front last year, that have really changed their bodies through having a whole full cycle of a year off. Gotten bigger, stronger, leaner, quicker, faster, and more intelligent in the football game because we spend a lot of time with our football intelligence courses that we use in the off season. So it's going to start around them, and then our young talented players like Casey Hawthorne and Jared Hunter and Antoine Murray. We got all those guys coming back. So we're really excited about our skill, how explosive we can be offensively, and it starts with the leadership of our experienced now quarterback. That's got to continue to grow and have a really good training camp. And then defensively, we went out and really attacked that on the recruiting standpoint, brought in a couple transfers to kind of shore up on the D-line and kind of help us on the back end. All of those guys are a year older now. Again, have gotten bigger, stronger, and faster. We loved our young linebackers. They were young last year, but they've all tacked on 10, 12 pounds of muscle and been in the classroom and learning. So, and put a lot of depth there. And we love the fact that now in our secondary, we can play 2 or 3 deep and rotate 2 full groups back there and keep guys fresh for the fourth quarter. So I'm really excited about this football team, and I think it's going to be a different product than what most people are predicting or came out of last year seeing.
Thank you, Coach. That'll do it for us. None other than Coach Larry Scott, Howard University football team. Look for big things. Great season, a lot of big games. Should be an exciting brand of football to see. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it, Doc.
No problem. This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. We'll be right back after this break. Stick with us as we have a couple of more interviews to get done. Thank you.